Let's learn some American slang. And the words and phrases that I'm getting ready to teach you are mostly used by Millennials and Gen Z. Technically speaking, I am Gen X, so I don't personally use many of these words and phrases, but it is good for your listening comprehension, and it's also good to stay up to date. This lesson is good for me as well because I need to stay up to date with new slang. This may be the future of English. So the first phrase that I have for you is to keep it 100. This means to be truthful, to be authentic. And this is actually a phrase that I learned recently from a student of mine from Brazil. I appreciate it, Chris. Keep it 100. I don't know, it maybe sounds a little awkward when I say it, but this is a phrase that has gone a bit more mainstream lately, so you may hear it in a movie or TV show.
Everyone knows I keep it 100.
And they do seem to, as they say, keep it 100.
I gotta keep it 100 with myself and with y'all too.
To keep it at 100.
Keep it at 100.
Another fun thing about this phrase is that people may use it when texting with the emoji 100. So to give you some examples, I have some tweets to share with you. Can you keep it 100 with us? Keep it 100, y'all trying these? Loyalty is rare. If you find it, keep it 100. The next slang word that I have for you is extra. Now, normally this adjective means more than what is needed or usual. Can I have some extra sauce? Or let's do something extra special. And people will use this as an attributive adjective that comes before the noun. When we're talking about slang, the meaning it's slightly different. So extra means something that is, well, just attention grabbing, dramatic, too much. And it really has a negative connotation. Most of the time you're going to use it to refer to a person. And in this case, you may use it as a predicate adjective, and it's going to follow the verb to be. He is so extra. She's being so extra. That's so extra. And I'm using so just to give it a bit of emphasis.
I seriously don't know how you're ever married to her. She is so extra.
She is a little extra. Yeah, I agree.
He was a pro, and he brought quite a lot of firepower for such an easy target.
Yeah, he was so extra, right? I mean, I could take that girl out with like a fly swatter. He rocks up in this urban assault vehicle.
Then we have vibe check. So this is a way of, well, checking someone's attitude, personality, see how they're doing, and it's really done in a friendly way. This is often spontaneous and said at random times. Like you just want to check in with your friend and see how things are going. And all of this is according to Urban Dictionary. So to show you how this phrase is used in context, I have some news headlines for you. Decoding vibe check, the word overused by Gen Z. So I guess this phrase is pretty common. Vibe check. Big tech is losing its luster for the class of 2023 amid mounting layoffs and an uncertain economy. I like how Forbes is trying to be cool, vibe check. And then Google Maps will now vibe check your destination for you. I suppose that's a good feature and you get to check people's vibes before you go there. And then there's rent-free. Now, normally this phrase would mean exactly what it says, that you are living somewhere and not having to pay rent. But when we're talking about slang, it's referring to an obsession. And somebody has this thought. They can't stop thinking about a person, in which case you could say that this person is living rent-free in your head. And that is a common collocation with this phrase, to live rent-free in someone's head.
Think about it. I live rent-free in this dude's head.
Nope. They do not get another second free rent in our heads, Ray.
Then we have stan. I like this one because I think it's become more and more common. This is referring to an obsessive fan. And I can actually tell you where this word comes from. So it originated in the year 2000 with the Eminem song, Stan. That's the name of the song. And the song is talking about a person named Stan who is an obsessive fan. I'd play the song for you, but I don't want to get a copyright claim. But often you would use this and talk about some celebrity and then follow it with the word stans if you want to say that these people are obsessive, like Taylor Swift stans or BTS stans or interactive English stans. I don't know if many of you out there are just obsessive fans, but if you are, you could say that you're a stan. And if you are an interactive English stan, let me know in the comments. Then we have simp. Now this is a noun and it refers to a person, typically a man, who really desires the attention and affection of another person, typically a woman. So you would say that someone is a simp. And often, I really think you're going to hear younger generations use this word.
She's a fake salty giraffe who eats all the good leaves from the top of the tree. Jake C is her little simp bitch who just stays in a shitty relationship because he's too afraid to be alone.
But to give you a little more context, here are some news headlines for you. Rapper T-Pain has labeled Drake king of simp music. What is simping and what does being called a simp mean? This is from Men's Health. I guess this is information guys need to know. Avoid using words like simp or stan when talking to older generations. I think that's some good advice. If you were to use these words talking to my parents, they would have no idea what the hell you're talking about. And then there's based. This means to just be yourself without worrying what others think about you or how they perceive you. And this is a word that has really gone viral on TikTok because according to one article, the hashtag for the word has 7.1 billion views, and creators often use the tag when their videos relate to the idea of being courageous, original, or unaffected by common culture. So if I don't care what others think, and I share my opinion, and you agree with me, you might respond and just say based. This is the best video lesson on slang ever made. And I'm not trying to be a simp, I'm just trying to keep it 100 because I'm sure if you are an interactive English stan, then you agree with me and you think that this is based. Okay, and I feel a little ridiculous saying one right after the other, but it's good to get a little bit of review, all right? Vibe check. How are things going? Okay, are you enjoying the lesson? Are you learning some new slang? If so, let me know by hitting that like button. Let's keep going with the next word, which is sus. And this is just short for saying something is suspect or suspicious. This is an adjective that means giving the impression that someone or something is questionable or dishonest. And once again, I think mostly younger generations are going to use this word, at least younger than Gen X.
I figure out what his angle is. The only thing we're calling that man is sus. Because that's what he is. He is so sus.
Yeah, why are you being weird? Why are you being so sus?
Then we have boujee, and this is derived from the French word bourgeoisie, referring to the class of owners and merchants that were experiencing new wealth back in the 16th century. But the slang meaning of boujee comes from hip-hop, and it was popularized by the group Migos. And I don't know who these guys are, I don't listen to their music, but just so you know where it comes from. This word is an adjective, and it just means luxurious in lifestyle. Rich, special, fancy. So you could say, my bougie friend bought a new house, or she's so bougie with that Louis Vuitton bag, or look at Wes with his bougie outfit. And I'm sure you're thinking that, well, that example is sus because you can see my outfit and yeah, it's not very luxurious, but you get the idea. And then there's basic. This is an adjective that's used as an insult to say that someone or something is boring or uncool. I could say, look, I'm going to keep it 100. This party is basic and I'm leaving. You may also hear people use the phrase basic bitch, which is a common phrase, so you could say it is a collocation with this adjective.
Don't you push my death, you basic bitch!
He called you a basic bitch.
Because of my bag charm?
Our family should wear uniforms with basic bitches across the front.
And I'm like, that is Lady Gaga.
Your grandma's such a basic bitch.
Now for a little review, and this is possibly going to sound weird, but just because you're learning this slang, do not feel like you have to use it. This is just my advice, and perhaps you think my advice is based. Because if you are trying to force slang into a conversation, people may think that you're trying to be all extra, and you're going to sound a little strange, like I may sound right now, because some of you may be looking at me. You see this Gen X person doing a lesson on slang and you think, you know, this guy's just a simp. He's just trying to get a bunch of attention. I don't think that's true. I try to create a variety of English lessons for all of my fans, especially my interactive English stans. You know who you are. And even though this review sounds a little weird, I'm just trying to keep it 100. So one last vibe check. If you enjoyed the lesson and learned something new, I would appreciate it if you hit that like button. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. So long.